Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Friday, January the 20th. Race number 3 at Santa Anita, 6 furlongs, Calbred optional claimer. For 3-year-olds, we're expecting wet weather again.
Which is interesting because this is a short field, but surprisingly in Southern California, these horses have a little bit of wet track pedigree.
It's an interesting race to be sure. Only a field of 5, but these horses are very lightly raced. Some interesting pace dynamics perhaps with a couple of them. Go to the DRF.com event page, the Race of the Day event page, download those free Formulator past performances, and follow along with us as we begin with the one Amadei, one of those pace players. It took him 9 tries, but he got through last time out at Los Al.
He did. Beat Calbred maiden 50s. Don't think that was the strongest field that we'll ever see. For what it's worth, highest last out time form US rating with a 90. Now we dive into the formulator side of things. Doug O'Neill past year dirt sprint maiden winner last out 1 for 30. The interesting thing about this horse, in my opinion anyway, again talking about how we're going to have a wet track more likely than not, and it sounds like a lot of rain is coming. This horse is a half to a horse called Mahalo Arturo, who was 4 for 4 on a wet track.
Oh boy.
So you know what, I mean, if you're just looking to sort of take a stab with a horse that at least there is a little bit of wet track pedigree there, maybe it's this horse.
And if he's got speed in the wood, there's a good possibility he won't have to deal with any sloppy kickback in his face. Amadei, this is one of your angles. Horse takes a while to break his maiden, finally gets it done. He was much the best last time out. He only won by a head. Drayden dropped the whip turning into the stretch, and he just had this horse under a hand ride. He always had the runner-up, Cupid's Bow. The number 2 is Pampers and Boots, a horse that's only started twice in his career. I thought he got a beautiful ride from Agapito Delgadillo last time out. He just angled in behind a 3-ply pace duel, then eased out again. This horse was a little bit green trying to lug in, but it was a good performance, and he got a fig.
There's a part of me that hopes that the exact same scenario plays out where the one goes, and here we'll talk about a couple other horses that both have speed. If they all sort of throw it down, this horse just tucks in, sits that pocket trip. I agree, the 72 buyer, highest last out in the field, time form US rating, co-highest with the 90. I like the fact that this one has at least proven that he can pass horses at this stage in the game, and again, Delgadillo, sneaky, you know, one of those guys that, you know, I don't think gets nearly enough respect that he deserves anyway. And he gives some crafty rides from time to time. No reason why this one, again, if they line up out front, I think he can set a good trip.
Now, the speed of the speed could be the 3, Elwood J, who really looked good winning his debut with a 71 buyer speed figure. He got back to that 71 last time out at Delmar. Very green in the early portion of that race, seemed to be wandering in the initial furlong. I don't know, he just tired. It was his first start with blinkers. To me, it just wasn't a very exciting effort, but maybe in a short field like this, cutting back in distance, if he gets loose, he's dangerous.
I just don't like his overall sort of profile. You win on debut, gate to wire, and then you come back, and each time you've gone right to the front and you've faded at the end. There's a scenario where I just look at it and say, he's going to go. If Amadei goes, we'll talk about Harvest of Storm in a minute. If they all line up, why is this going to be any different? Maybe it's the wet track. Maybe he appreciates it. He's a half to a horse called Peaceful Approach, who was 2 for 2 on a wet track. This is just the kind of horse that I'm not going to be surprised if he wins, but I don't trust him very much.
The number 4 is Harvest of Storm, and I think this is a very dangerous runner in this spot. A winner 2 starts back at Oak Tree at Pleasanton on the dirt, and last time out in his first race against winners, he was simply overmatched. He was against arguably the best California-bred 2-year-old of 2016 in California Diamond, who came back to run second in the Grade 3 Bob Hope. And if you look at Harvest of Storm's running lines, he had to deal with California Diamond way back in June, so his lines are a little bit dirtied up. He fits at this level. Perhaps most importantly, he draws a great post because he has speed, but if the 1 and 3 want to go, he can sit just off.
And that could be to the detriment of a horse like Pampers and Boots, where at least this horse we think can sit a little bit. Boy, if he's still ahead of Pampers and Boots has to go and run this one down, that's going to be difficult. I think Harvest of Storm is interesting. Another horse that is akin to a horse with some sort of wet sort of pedigree or form called Fine and Rare, 1 for 3 on a wet track, but all 3 times in the money. So interesting.
Popular Kid, the number 5, won over a muddy track last time out. Last week. Just shows sometimes what happens when you give a horse a drop in class.
Yeah, but I have to seriously question what that horse was in against. Simply, you just look at the overall body. I'm not trying to knock anyone. I mean, Charlie Stutz over the past 5 years is 3 for 186. This is one of them. I suppose on the turn back, I like that you're proven on a wet track. I just would be very, very surprised if all of a sudden he just comes right back and beats winners.
Might be out-sprinted in the early portion of this 6-furlong race, so he's hoping for a hot and heavy pace, and that he really is a slop-loving colt. Let's take a look at our selections for race number 3 at Santa Anita. We agree with Pampers in Boots. We're kind of hoping the 1, 3, 4 mix it up a little bit early, and Degadillo's sitting in behind, and then if we have to deal with a wet track, hopefully he'll handle it.
That's kind of the thought. If all of a sudden those 3 horses that like to be forward line up, at least this one has shown he can sit a length or 2 off and still make a move. I do agree with you, though. I think Harvest the Storm is interesting. It all depends on the price in such a short field.
2-4 for Matt. 2-3 for me in the Friday Formulator Race of the Day. And if you happen to be playing the Santa Anita Friday card from home, you're not going to be expecting this, but it's good. $300 sign-up bonus at drf.com/trifecta. That's a pretty good deal. It's better than the deal we usually give out, $225.
Slowly gets better and better.
Slowly gets better and better at DRF Bets. Approximate post time for race number 3 at Santa Anita with a $300 bonus for DRF Bets members. 2 o'clock Pacific. Good luck.